There has been some good news lately, and that is something that I'm glad to share. And that is the fact that when I get these messages from various people, male, female, aspiring pilots, all looking to get into the aviation industry, and they share with me that they've made it to the next stage, it really gladdens my heart. And no matter the time, I get to respond to them and congratulate them, and I'm happy that I've been able to contribute to their journey positively in somewhat getting closer to their goal. And I am happy to be doing this because this is something that really just inspires me. It reminds me of those days when I was looking for opportunities in the aviation industry and didn't know where to go, how to get started, and the things to do. Now, in this video, I want to share with you what to maybe expect going into the final stage for the TUI airlines. And for those of you that are in the BA program as well, I just want to share some thoughts. This is more like an update, nothing really specific at this point. But I want to say to you that as you advance to the next stage, know that, the cost of really doing, business, in this case, the cost of actually achieving your dreams gets higher. In this case, the stakes get higher and the expectations also get even higher. And that is why I want to share with you that as you advance, know that the stakes get higher, right? And your expectations should be managed accordingly. The simulator assessment is the next stage. And for those girls and guys that are preparing for this stage, it is common to see a lot of people book what they call the flight sim or flight simulator to get their hands on some of the type of airplanes they can expect. And that's fine if you can get your hands on that. But I always recommend that, hey, there's nothing like having also a Microsoft Flight Simulator. If you have a Microsoft Flight Simulator with a joystick and a yoke, that also goes a long way. The key thing is that to be able to demonstrate some of those competencies. Remember, when it comes to any pilot job, the key thing is to demonstrate competencies, and your ability to demonstrate those competencies really falls down to familiarity, especially when you have practiced and at least you're comfortable reading flight instruments. And for those of you who are preparing for this next stage, I want to share with you that there's a lot of things you can do to give yourself an edge. A few things is read up on those competencies, read about them, and be able to demonstrate them in a flight deck environment. Remember, the person that will be assessing you is the person sitting in the right seat or maybe in the jump seat behind you. And the key thing is that they are looking for those competencies like managing your workload, the way you communicate, the way you manage the flight deck, all right? And we can go into things like leadership because if, for example, if there's a problem, they want to see that you can demonstrate, aviate, navigate, communicate, right? And what does that mean in terms of leadership skills? Your aviate is be able to designate who continues to fly or who does the radio. The next thing is navigate is, okay, where are we going? What is going on? And that ties into situational awareness that we talk about all the time. So you want to be able to tie those competencies together. And that is why when you read about these competencies and you understand them, then the rest is just familiarity with the flight deck environment. So moving on to the next one will be the communicate aspect, all right, of the aviate, navigate, communicate concept. The communicate concept is, of course, respond to instructions, give instructions when necessary. And, that just shows that you are able to manage your workload, you're able to lead, you're able to demonstrate these competencies. I'm not going to go into details. Again, I'm just sharing these tips as an update for those of you who are getting ready for this, this next stage. The other thing for those that are preparing for the BA assessment, a lot of you are probably going through your flight school assessment stage 2 at this point. And for the stage 2, I think I've shared a lot of resources on this already. And I don't think I need to start reiterating all the things I've talked about without making this video get too long, right? But one thing I will say is that in any group assessment, the key thing is to show that you can work within a group environment. As you know, the aviation industry is geared towards, having a lot of people, a lot of changes, a lot of groups of people that you have to work with. And if you are the type of person who doesn't like to work with groups of people, well, that's not going to help your situation, right? So you want to be able to demonstrate that you can function within a group and assist in achieving the desired goal. Now, there's something that I would like to share with you though. The important thing here is a lot of times, a lot of people would send me messages asking, how can they prepare for this group assessment? And I always say that preparing for a group assessment, honestly, is almost like a fool's errand. I believe that's how it's said, because there are tons of exercises they can pick from. And if you prepare for one thing and it's not exactly what you prepared for, it puts you in a situation where you might not be able to function, right? And that's not what I want for you. So yes, be familiar with different types of exercises, which I've covered in this video, but I've kind of shared an overview of the types of exercises you can expect. But one thing to remember is that your ability to apply the tools, the knowledge, the competencies during the exercise is really what they are looking for. Did you know that you can be tested on your passion and motivation for aviation even during the group exercise? Well, if you don't know, that is something that is also possible. So in what way, would you may ask? Well, be familiar with the company rules, values, and maybe mission statements, right? Things like that. Because the airline sometimes could test you on maybe how well you know about the airline in the form of a group exercise in which you're within a group, but you're being tested on something particularly related to the airline. And this is where I always say that if you are trying to do your research on an airline, spend time doing a thorough research. And that is why in the course that I've made and put together is the Cadet Pilot interview. This is one of the first things that you want to cover in preparing for an interview. So check it out if you feel like it's something that will be valuable to you. I believe and I know that it will be much of value to you. In any of this, no matter the stage you get to, no matter what happens, it is important to manage expectations. You have to understand that sometimes for a lot of you, this is your first time taking on this assessment. So you may struggle and the outcome might not be exactly what you've expected or what you want. But that is actually the learning point. That is a very important stage in achieving success, because success isn't just something that you achieve at once. It's something at times you have to try again. And the habit of keeping that open mindset, knowing that you may not get the outcome you want right away, but if you take the lessons along the way, it will help you achieve success. That is something that will work for you. And that is why I'm sharing with you now that no matter what happens, manage expectations, keep your head up, and take the lessons and apply them to the future attempts. Remember, there would always be another future assessment to take, another airline to apply to, and the lessons you learn along the way are things that would help you perform excellently well in the future. So if you have found value in this one, please don't forget to drop a like on it, and I would love to see you in a future one.